Okay. So you can start recording. And whenever you're ready.
During the spring 2022 semester of my undergraduate studies, a German man who had been dead for over a century saved my life. It might not be how one may take that phrase initially. After all, I wasn't in any immediate physical danger, and I was doing great in life. I was playing university tennis, my friends and family were well, and I had great grades at school. So what was wrong? Why did my life need saving? How did a dead German man do that? It turns out that the meaning of my life was rapidly slipping through my fingers. I was raised Roman Catholic growing up, and while for many, this sort of upbringing can bring faith and hope, for me, it brought fear and doubt. I saw no secure reason as to why God had to exist, as documents such as the Bible and the Catholic Catechism were describing God as. So there was that uncertain nature to my fear. Additionally, there was a Cartesian element in the sense that it is certainly possible that God, if he does exist, which was already uncertain to me, God could be a deceiver. God could be convincing me that I am living my life meaningfully and well, doing all of those things that I was describing earlier. However, all of that could totally be meaningless. God, living in the real reality, could be deceiving me to think that this reality was just as real. So there were those two confusing, fearful, doubtful elements to my religious, theological commitments that I was holding at the time and beginning to doubt. As I continued to read philosophy and become more educated in the history of philosophy, I still didn't have the key to save me from my problems. It wasn't until I came across Immanuel Kant and his masterwork Critique of Pure Reason that I discovered the way out of these terrors and these problems. Specifically, the key was Kant's notion of transcendental unity of apperception.
The transcendental unity of apperception can be summed up in layman's terms as follows. Conscious experience is made up of a collection of abstract logical concepts, such as the word red or cube, which are then combined with space, time, and the objects in space and time, such as a physical red cube sitting on a table. Kant calls space, time, and the objects in space and time intuitions. For experience to be as it is, the self, which is you as an abstract thing that thinks, performs a combination of these concepts and intuitions through the proposition, I think, and, in doing so, effectively organizes them to form experience as we know it.
This new metaphysical perspective not only allowed me to more fully embrace my immediate surroundings and experiences, but it also redefined for me what love and goodness can be. I no longer held the dogmatic views I inherited as a child, but instead developed a philosophical belief known as immanence. Maybe not as it's fully developed in academic philosophy, but more so the vague notion of just God being built into experience, so to speak, as opposed to him being separate from it. This totally allowed me to enter everything I did with a new found appreciation and a whole new look on life that filled me with ecstasy and excitement and hope. My hope in working on this project with my good friend Alice, who's behind the camera, is twofold. One, to help get German idealism out there, because it's a little bit niche of a philosophy, and even if someone comes across it through a more popular source such as Marx, or Zizek had that famous debate with Jordan Peterson a few years ago. At least this is some of the sources how I found German idealism. My hope is to get it out through other ways and less convoluted and less ivory tower core ways, and to really help make it popular and make it enjoyable and something useful as well, something that can really help people. And the other reason that I've done this project in conjunction with Alice is because I really also want to help people see that life itself is just something amazing to behold, something to learn about, and something to be amazed by, and something that once you are familiar with a lot of its parts, you can see a lot of the beauty and act in accordance with that, which will, if it's anything like me, will allow you to become more loving and more understanding and more grateful and a lot more amazing things. That's not to say it won't come without challenge or without strife. If you've seen our other video on the Cartesian demon or other things like that, or had an experience like that yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about. But despite all of that, it really is something fantastic. So thank you so much for watching and supporting us by watching and giving us your time, and we hope this has been a good use of it, and we hope you go into the world with it and continue to learn and grow and love and be wonderful and struggle and be sad. It's okay to be those things too. Just want to reiterate that. That's not something that gets out there as much. So thank you so much. We love you, and God bless.